Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to another episode of Slow English Talk, where we speak slowly and clearly to help you learn English and grow as a person at the same time. I'm Emma.
And I'm Daniel. Today, we're talking about something simple, but powerful: habits. Tiny things we do every day, like brushing our teeth, checking our phones, drinking water. Those things actually shape our lives.
Yes, and here's the amazing part. You don't need big, dramatic changes to improve your life. You just need small habits, done regularly, to create big results over time.
So in this episode, we'll explore how tiny actions lead to transformation. We'll show you how to start small, build new routines, break bad habits, and stay motivated, all in slow, clear English.
This episode is not just about learning English, it's about building a better life, one small habit at a time.
Let's begin.
Let's begin with a simple question. Why do habits matter so much?
Because habits create our lives. What you do every day becomes who you are. Not what you do once a year, but what you repeat every day, even if it seems small.
Think about it. If you write for 5 minutes every morning, you become a writer. If you read a page every night, you become a reader. If you stretch every morning, you become someone who takes care of their body.
Most of us wait for motivation or a big life change. We think, next Monday, I'll start going to the gym. Or, from January 1st, I'll become a better person. But change doesn't start with a big moment. It starts with a small action, done today.
Let's use a metaphor. Imagine your life is a garden. Every habit is a seed. Some seeds grow flowers like reading, kindness, or movement. Some seeds grow weeds like complaining, avoiding, or comparing.
And the thing is, the garden doesn't care what you plant. It just grows what you water. So, if you repeat something daily, that habit will grow stronger, even if it's a negative one.
That's why it's so important to choose your habits with care. Small choices like drinking more water or going to bed earlier may not seem like much, but over time, they change how you feel, think, and live.
James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And those systems are built from habits."
So don't wait for a perfect moment. Start where you are. Because every small habit is a step in the direction of who you want to become.
That's why habits matter. So now that we know why habits matter, let's go deeper. What exactly is a small habit?
A small habit is something so simple that it feels easy to do. It's an action that takes little effort, little time, and very little motivation.
Here are some examples. Drinking 1 glass of water in the morning. Putting your phone in another room before bed. Writing 1 sentence in your journal. Doing 5 push-ups, just 5.
These things are so tiny, you might think, that doesn't really matter. But they do, because a small habit is not about results. It's about building identity and momentum.
Let's take this example. You want to become a person who reads more. Instead of forcing yourself to read for 1 hour every day, start by reading just 1 page. That's it. 1 page. It sounds silly, but it works.
Why? Because when something is too big, your brain says, "This is hard. Let's skip it." But when something is small, your brain says, "Easy. Let's do it." And when you do it once, it becomes easier to do again tomorrow.
Small habits also remove pressure. You don't feel like you need to be perfect. You don't need the perfect notebook or the perfect morning or the perfect gym clothes.
You just start. And once you start, it's easier to keep going.
Here's the key idea. A small habit is not about doing a lot. It's about showing up. It's a vote for the person you want to become.
Every time you do that small habit, even for 30 seconds, you're proving to yourself, I am the kind of person who tries. I am someone who grows. I am showing up for me.
So yes, small habits might look small from the outside, but they're doing something huge inside you.
They are creating the foundation. They are training your brain. They are helping you build a new version of yourself, one small step at a time. Now let's talk about something that sounds simple but is actually very powerful. It's called repetition, doing the same thing again and again.
We often think that success comes from big effort, but more often, it comes from doing small things consistently over time.
Think about brushing your teeth. You don't do it once a week for an hour. You do it every day, just for 2 minutes.
And that's what keeps your teeth clean. Not how hard you brush, but how often you do it.
The same is true for other habits. One workout won't change your body, but regular movement, even just 10 minutes a day, will make a difference.
Repetition tells your brain, this is who I am now. It helps build your identity. If you stretch every day, you become someone who cares about their body. If you write every day, you become a writer.
And the more you repeat a habit, the easier it becomes. At first, it's hard. You have to think about it. You might forget. But after a few days or weeks, it starts to feel natural.
Like driving a car or tying your shoes, you don't think about it anymore. It becomes automatic. That's the magic of doing something regularly.
Here's something interesting. The first few days of a new habit feel exciting. You're motivated. But after a while, that excitement fades. And this is when repetition becomes the bridge between starting and succeeding.
And if you miss a day? That's fine. What matters is getting back to the habit. Missing once is normal, but when you repeat it again, you keep the pattern alive.
So, don't worry about doing it perfectly. Focus on repeating the habit, even if it's small, even if it's not perfect, even if it's boring.
Because what you do often becomes what you do easily, and what you do easily becomes who you are.
Let's talk about something very important when building new habits. If you want to make a change in your life, you have to start tiny. I mean really tiny.
Yes, most people try to start too big. They say, I'll run 5 kilometers every day, or I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. But after 2 or 3 days, they stop because it's too much, too fast.
The problem isn't that people are lazy. The problem is that their goals are too heavy, and the brain resists anything that feels hard, especially at the beginning.
So here's a better idea. Start so small that you can't say no. This is called the 2-minute rule. If a habit takes less than 2 minutes, just do it.
For example, instead of read every night for 30 minutes, say, I'll read 1 paragraph. Instead of do yoga every morning, say, I'll put my yoga mat on the floor. That's it.
It sounds funny, but it works. Because the hard part isn't doing the thing. The hard part is starting. Once you begin, it's easier to keep going.
Let's say your goal is to write more. You tell yourself, Today I'll open my notebook and write just one sentence. Maybe you stop there. That's fine. But maybe once you start, you write 5 sentences or 10.
The key is this: don't focus on results at first. Focus on showing up. Create a habit of starting. Let the habit be small, silly, simple. The magic is in repetition, not intensity.
A small win builds trust in yourself. You think, I did it yesterday. I can do it again today. It becomes part of your identity.
So if you want to build a new habit, don't go big. Start tiny. Make it so small that it feels easy. Make it so easy that it becomes real.
Now that we know how to start tiny, let's learn one of the smartest ways to build new habits. It's called habit stacking.
Habit stacking means adding a new habit next to a habit you already do. You connect the new habit to something that's already part of your routine.
Here's how it works. First, you find a habit you already do every day, like brushing your teeth, making coffee, or locking the door when you leave home.
Then, you add your new habit right after that existing one. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will floss one tooth. After I drink coffee, I will read one page. After I put on my shoes, I will take 3 deep breaths.
It's powerful because it uses something your brain already knows. You don't need to remember from zero. Your old habit becomes a trigger for the new one.
Let's say you want to practice English vocabulary. You already check your phone in the morning, so you decide, after I unlock my phone, I will open my vocabulary app and learn one new word.
Or maybe you want to stretch more. You already watch TV in the evening, so you say, before I turn on Netflix, I will do 1 minute of stretching.
It's about creating chains. One small action connects to another, and then another, like links in a necklace.
Soon your brain begins to expect the new habit. It feels automatic. You don't need motivation. You just follow the pattern.
That's the beauty of habit stacking. It doesn't add more work. It simply uses what's already there.
So take a moment. Think of one habit you already have. Then ask, what small new habit could I add right after it?
That's how you build a strong chain, one link at a time.
Let's be honest. We've all had moments when we felt motivated. We said, yes, I will change my life starting today. And maybe we started strong, but then a few days later, we stopped.
Motivation is great. It gives us energy and excitement. But there's one big problem. Motivation doesn't last. Some days you feel it, other days you don't.
And that's why systems are more important than motivation. A system is something you follow no matter how you feel. It's a routine, a plan, a structure that supports your goals.
Here's the difference. Motivation says, I'll go for a walk if I feel like it. A system says, I take a walk every day after lunch, no matter what.
Motivation is like the weather. It changes, it comes and goes. But systems are like the calendar. They stay the same.
Let's say you want to eat healthier. If you rely on motivation, you might cook once or twice, then give up when you're tired. But if you build a system, like meal planning every Sunday and preparing snacks in advance, it becomes easier to stay on track.
Systems reduce decision-making. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like doing this? You already know the answer. You just do it.
Systems also protect you from bad days. When you're tired or busy, your system is still there. You follow the plan. even if it's just the minimum version of it.
And guess what? The more you use your system, the stronger it becomes. It becomes your default mode.
Motivation is a great spark. But if you want long-term change, build a system that works even when you don't feel motivated.
So don't wait to feel ready. Build something reliable. Build a system that supports the person you want to become. Until now, we've talked about building good habits. But what about the other side? What can we do to break bad habits?
That's a great question. And the first thing to remember is this: you don't need to be perfect. Breaking a habit is not about being strong every second. It's about understanding your patterns.
Let's look at a bad habit like scrolling your phone for hours before bed. You say, "Tomorrow I'll stop." But then the same thing happens again. Why? Because the habit is automatic. It's connected to a trigger.
A trigger is the thing that comes before the habit. In this case, maybe it's lying in bed and feeling tired. Or maybe it's stress or boredom.
To break a bad habit, you need to notice the trigger. Ask yourself, when do I do this? Where am I? What do I feel?
Once you know the trigger, try to change the environment. For example, leave your phone in another room. Or replace the habit with something better. Instead of scrolling, listen to calming music. Or stretch. Or breathe.
Another helpful tip is to make the bad habit harder to do. If chocolate is your weakness, don't keep it on the table. Put it far away, or don't buy it at all.
The more friction you add, the less likely you are to follow the bad habit. And the easier it is to replace it with a better one.
Also, be kind to yourself. You're not bad because you have a bad habit. You're human. You're learning. You're changing.
And remember, you don't have to break the habit all at once. You can make it smaller, weaker, slower. Over time, it loses its power.
So don't fight your bad habits with shame or stress. Use awareness, use strategy, use compassion.
That's how real change happens.
We've talked about starting small, repeating habits and building systems. Now let's talk about something that helps you stay on track. It's called tracking your progress.
Tracking means keeping a simple record of your habits. You don't need a special app or a big journal. Just a notebook, or a calendar, or even a sticky note.
Every time you do your habit, make a small mark, a check, a dot, a smiley face, something that says, "I did it."
Why is this powerful? Because it shows you the truth. You see your own progress, even if it's small.
And when you look back and see 5 check marks in a row, you feel proud. You think, "I'm doing it. I'm growing. I'm showing up."
That feeling is called a daily win. And daily wins are what keep you going when things get boring or hard.
Let's say your goal is to meditate for 1 minute every morning. After a week, you look at your calendar and see 7 check marks. That's proof. You're doing it.
Even if the habit feels tiny, your consistency makes it meaningful. It's not about perfection. It's about building a chain of effort.
And if you miss a day, that's okay. Just restart the next day. One miss doesn't break the chain.
You can also use visual rewards, like a colorful chart or a habit tracker app that makes it fun.
Some people write short notes. "I drank water before coffee today." "I read 1 page before bed." These notes become a record of small victories.
And the more you see those wins, the more confident you become. You stop saying, "Maybe I can," and start saying, I am doing it.
So, find a simple way to track your habits. Celebrate the tiny wins. They are signs that you are becoming the person you want to be. That's the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. We hope this gave you simple tools and gentle motivation to begin making small changes in your life.
Remember, big results don't come from doing something huge once. They come from doing something small again and again. Even one tiny habit can start a ripple effect that changes everything.
So be kind to yourself, start small, keep going, and celebrate every step, even if it feels little.
If this episode inspired you, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. What small habit are you starting this week? Or share this episode with someone who wants to grow too.
And don't forget to subscribe for more slow and thoughtful English and more tools for a better life.
See you next time, and keep building something beautiful, one small habit at a time.